Sodom and Gomorrah is a better lesson for purity culture than it is anything else. And in our episode of Drop Stones, we're talking about purity and purity culture and what it is and what it's led to and what it has become. And you can listen to the episode on all platforms and on YouTube. But in the episode, we're talking about purity culture in this video that came out from Liberty University, where a gentleman's going around and asking different students whether or not they would harm a puppy or wait till they got married. And a lot of these kids were picking harm a puppy. And it's this ingrained idea of purity and what we force ourselves to do and how we force ourselves to go against our own inclinations and desires that are naturally in us. And it leads to this just weird mindset of things. And I think it leads to it because the purity culture is really directed towards females for the most part. It's directed towards women. Because men, yes, they fall in line with it too, and they're kind of included in all the messaging, but if they stumble and fall out of the graces of God and purity, well, that's all right. And honestly, a lot of the fathers and preachers would be like, oh, that's great, because now we know that, what he likes. But if a woman were to do it, then it's ostracization and condemnation. So it's definitely a double standard on how purity culture is operated and enforced and taught. And with this being in mind, you think about throughout history how women have been kind of this property of men, from father passed on to husband, and how it's this dominion that men have had over women. And that the value in the woman's always been in her purity and her chastity. And that's why a father would get upset if his daughter had not been pure and virtuous, because he would have lost value in her and would have had a tough time selling her off to a husband. And I think this leads more to the Sodom and Gomorrah thing, because you think about the mindset of a lot of men, especially evangelical men, how they want to marry these virtuous women that are pure. For what reason? And we dive into this in the episode. And I honestly think it's just because then they can bang their chest and hold up high and tout to their friends that is mine, and I've been the only one with that one. She has only known me, and you guys can never have it. Be jealous of what I have. And it's this possession and this power and dominion that they feel like they have over the woman that is really instilled by this purity culture mindset, because, again, it's mainly taught to be held accountable to women for the most part, just because the men have instilled this practice and put it into place, because then they can have this possession, this dominion, this braggadocio behavior of that's mine and it's all mine and no one else has ever had it before. And it's a point of just pride and arrogance to be able to spout this off to anyone that may want to listen to it. It's a disgusting practice, but I've seen it, not just verbatim played out, but you can kind of tell in the essence of some of these men that are in the faith about how much pride they would have in the fact that their wife was a virgin when they were married, and that they're the only person that's been with them. It's a point of pride and a point of dominion that they contain, and it's disgusting. At least it takes away value from just being a human being and makes it only about one thing and one thing only, which is what purity culture is teaching, that all this value is put on this one action that be done, and it denies the natural instincts that we have. And it's just disgusting that we'd want to do this, and basically just to see it as put in place to be a point of possession and control over a whole set of people in our lives. It needs to stop, because it just causes so many mind fucking problems that arise throughout in people's marriages and lives and prior to lives, and stress and anxiety. We just need to get away from this and go to more of the natural thing of this is how you feel, this is how it is, and this is how you want to act. And it's all right if you do. It's completely natural. So let's get rid of this purity mindset and realize that Purity has nothing to do with who or what or how often you've had relations. It has to do with your intentions and what you feel.